For today's video, I'd just like to give my deepest condolences to the Deer family. Paul Deer passed away on the weekend, and father of my great mate Harry Deer, pictured there and with his family. Paul played for Hawthorn, played 123 games there and won a Norm Smith medal, but the best part about him was he was a great family man to all his children there, and got diagnosed with pancreatic cancer during the lockdowns a couple of years ago, and it's been a tough battle. It's been a great battle. He got so much more life than expected, and I'm just happy for the family that they're able to spend a lot of time with him in the last couple of years. And just the main thing I want to say is that they started a Dare to Hope campaign and foundation, and there's a game this weekend at the MCG, and just like any money or chance you can donate to that, it would be greatly appreciated by the family. And yeah, it's just a difficult time, and yeah, there's not much more really I can say. Just I love you, Harry. I love you guys, and just my deepest condolences. So rest in peace, Paul. G'day guys, welcome back to another video with Enno here from Fantasy Take TV. Looking at the round 17 score this week. Another decent week for myself, making some ground still, up another 1,000 spots. So hopefully that can just keep going, as I sort of say every week. When I get to maybe top couple of thousand by the end of the season, if that's achievable, would be a good recovery from sort of where we were for most parts of the season. Yeah, didn't make a trade this week. We'll get into that in a second. But yeah, a few top 2% rounds the past few weeks, so it's definitely moving in the right direction. And yeah, let's just hope it can keep going. Into the team. It was locked down with COVID for the last week. My first experience of that, so I was very much bored. A lot to do, a lot of footy I watched, and to be honest, and yeah, it was my birthday as well on Friday, so yeah, had a ripping weekend. Watched the Tigers choke away another victory. I think we've been up at 3/4 time, 14 out of the 16 games, but only won 9 of them. So too many choking going on. But let's get to the team anyway. So Dawson got tagged. That obviously didn't help. Worked his way through it. Got 10 tackles, so can't be too upset with that. But you know, I think it's just a sign of things to come, but hopefully not many teams will continue with that tagging on him. Sis gave away a free kick and a 50% free at the start of the game, starting about -10, but sort of worked his way into it. Still a lot of clangers though throughout the game. Matched up on text, a bit into it. It's always funny watching Sis. You gotta love the passion he plays for if you're a Hawthorn supporter. So sort of, yeah, got himself to a 92, but yeah, just hurt himself with a few clangers. Sinclair was very good, actually. I know they didn't get the chocolates, but he was very good, especially in the first half. Kicked a nice goal. So you're happy with him. Obviously, if he doesn't get any attention like Dawson did this weekend, but they're sort of the guys that are asking for it with how damaging they are. But yeah, he was good. Hewitt came back with one of his better games in recent times. Probably, one of the best midfielders, or if not on the day, which was good to see. Dacos, who we've obviously still got, he was really good in the first half. Kicked a nice goal in the second half, mind you, but he did sort of get moved off that defensive role. Sort of related, I think, a bit to Jack Crisp, wanting to get him out of the midfield and put him to defence. So it'd be interesting to see what happens going forward. I guess you could say it sort of worked late since they sort of made the comeback, but we'll see what happens with McRae. He does move the magnets a bit, so there's Pendles there as well who can play forward and back, so might see a different mix every week or in game still. So it is a bit concerning for Dacos. Obviously, we want him in that sort of pig and half back role, but it'll be interesting to see what happens going forward. Shorty was good, not didn't set the world on fire, but he was pretty solid. Got a bit of a charity goal, which was nice, but yeah, gets North this week. We're going to need a good performance from him and some others since we're missing a few troops. So hopefully he goes well. Massimo was subbed off, which I would have been fielding him this week, provided Clary's out, by moving one of the defender mids to the midfield and bringing him on. So hopefully he's okay to get up. Otherwise, I'll be fielding Maurice. So hopefully Massimo's all right. And then Rory Thompson, still not sure what's going on with him. I think he's still playing the VFL. Clary was pretty good after quarter time, had a few early clangers, but then worked into it pretty nicely. Didn't VC him though, sort of went for Took, which is the next man here, just against the Tigers midfield. I thought he'd go nuts. Didn't go super nuts, but did go pretty well. And I did take that VC score. And that allowed me to luckily avoid Neil, who did get tagged in his game with a lot of you guys having the captaincy on him. Caldwell got the better of him. Didn't really look too interested in that game. Bombers got the chocolates, so a good win by them. Another one, and yeah, just a lot of kids out there for Brisbane. I think Neil wasn't too too interested in trying to carry them. So yeah, it's not great by him, but he should be fine. McRae, just sort of the McRae season it's been, a big score every now and then, but then just a lot of your low tons and 90s and stuff like that mixed in, which just, hasn't quite kept him up at the high standards that he's had over the last few years at sort of your high, 125, almost 130 averages. It's just going to sit sort of around the 120 as it's just dipped under now. So, it's sort of been McRae's year, and I think they get Bailey Smith back this week. So, sort of another midfielder in there that can sort of mix up the roles there. So who knows what's going to happen. Merritt, been a bit of a saving grace last couple of weeks. We got him in and he got 2 90s, and then the last 2 weeks 2 140s. So that's been a bit of a saviour. He's looked really good. Especially using the ball forward to centre with his kicking inside 50, as he's sort of always been known for. So really pleased with that. Track wasn't too great. Again, his disposal let him down, which is just Track in a nutshell, really. Did save his score with a few goals, but that's Track really. He can 180 last week, 90 this week. That's just going to be the Track, I think, from here on out. Steele sort of just chugging along, not really getting those 120 pluses we want. Sort of, I think he's gone back to back mid 100s. So I'd like some more from him. Not getting as much contested as we'd like. He's tackling all right, so that's not really a concern. But we'd like some bigger scores from him. And Cripps, he did salvage his score in the last quarter, but it was looking absolutely dire for 2.5 quarters. So I'll be very, very surprised if I don't use a trade on him this week. I'll show you at the end who I'm thinking of and who I can get. I am a bit annoyed myself. I didn't go Cripps to Brayshaw last week. Something I was tossing up would have netted me about 40 points or so almost 50. So that's definitely on the cards again this week, and we'll see. And then Maurice, who's my mid cover, which isn't great cover, and it's someone we might need this week. And then Owens and Mountford, who are just pretty much loopholes at this point. Wits bounced back all right. Nank was, as we found out, injured himself in the second half, I think, and wasn't playing well anyway before that. And Wits sort of took advantage. He needs to hit out to advantage. That's all he can score from, really, and all he can do. And he did get that done in this game. Obviously, Tiga was there for the loophole. But Shrek did play well, kicked a couple of goals, probably good as the score we can hope for against the double St Kilda rucks. So we take that, not quite the 120, so no mask this week, but gets Sydney next week, so maybe Hickey's back, maybe it's Laddams again, who knows. It should be a good matchup for him. Bont was just okay, not great. The Dogs obviously weren't too great themselves either. English just chugging along as well. I guess still not feeling the effects, but he's been a bit. It's okay to be a bit rusty, I guess. He's missed a lot of footy recently, in and out. So hopefully he's good for the run and can build off that. Cog's just been awesome. I'm so glad we had on to him. He's been pumping out hundreds consistently. DC sort of saved his score, I guess, a bit again. He kicked a few goals as well. He's someone that have to look at trading soon. I think Grundy's back in a few weeks, maybe only a couple weeks now. I have to monitor the injury list for that, but gets robbed this week. We'll see how he goes. I think maybe I'll sit on him for one more week, see how he goes, and then make a call from there. Dung's just a disappointing game from him. Didn't use it great at all. Just a bit like Track. The disposal lets him down quite often, so wasn't good from Dunks. And then Parker finally got a good score from him after having him for a couple of weeks. So that was good. And then Paul Curtis is my cover down in the forward line. So not a whole lot to talk about this week. The team's pretty much done. It's just, do I want to trade Cripps? And he only went down about 8K, so sort of saved his score a bit with his last quarter. And what that allows me to just afford, obviously, look, Rory led, love to get him. Couldn't use 2 trades to get him. Would I do that? I just don't think it's necessary. Yeah, look, be great. As I said, be great to have him, but he's just too much money, and I just think it's not worth it at this stage of the year. But I can afford Mills and I can afford Brayshaw. So Walsh is out of reach. Parrish is out of reach, even though I think you would want to go there. And then there's Josh Kelly down here. Ben Keys I probably wouldn't look at. So really it's between Mills, Brayshaw, and I guess Josh Kelly. And I just think Brayshaw is the one, and I can afford it by $100. So look, last week it would have only cost me about 50K of that 70, so I'd have about 20 left over. So you would much have rather to have done that last week and keep some money in the bank, because 100 isn't ideal, especially when I have to trade Cameron. I'll only be able to go downwards from him, which is a little bit concerning because there's not a great deal to go below. So let's say I do that, and I probably won't trade Cameron this week, but let's look at what I can probably get for that if I was to just do it this week, for instance. And isn't a great deal. Goldie's probably the one with Cherry out for the year. Goldie solo rucking. I could even look at doing it this week, especially since Richmond won't have a ruckman. Dank will be out, Solder will be out. Is something I'm thinking about. Do I want to use 2 of these trades in 1 week while still having Nick Dacos, Jaden Short in the back line? It's not something I really am too keen on. Torano's there at a bit of a discounted price. And there's just not much else really. Heaney, I'm probably not going to go there. Treloar, probably don't want to go there with his injury worries. Rosie's another one who, he's shot up in price now, and it really would have to be this week or never, because he's just going to go up and up and up. Look at 3 rounds. Shea had a pretty nuts game. Rowan has got forward status now. I guess we'll talk about that on the podcast. But as long as Ryder's still playing, it's not too relevant for right now. 5 round average, anyone else? Not really. So Dan Riola's been really, really good off halfback, but not something I really want to do. So yeah, I think Goldie's the one. Thing is, I'm not sure what his break even is. 127, so he's not going to go too nuts. I think Cameron is about 120 himself. So look, probably just leave it for now. I really just don't want to look at Patrick Cripps in my team anymore. It just got to that point. Last 6-7 weeks, I just don't want to watch it. Rather watch Andy Brayshaw, who's going nuts, and is actually now a favourite for the Brownlow. So that's probably something I'll look at. Probably be pretty close to doing it. Have a look at captains another time, but yeah, Dacos would really love to get his role back. Shorty, we could still look at trading maybe to a Stewart or something, but again, it's going to cost money. It's going to cost another trade. So I think just hold him at this point and just hope that he can get through and produce some good scores for us again. So thanks for watching, guys. Sorry about sound a bit under the weather. Yeah, as I said, I had COVID for the last week and only really coming out of it now. The week's up tomorrow and the next day. So FPL video, I will be getting that out soon. Trust me, I will. I just haven't. Well, I've had time, but I just haven't had really the mood or the chance, or felt good enough to get in front of camera and do something. But I have made a team. I think I did post on Twitter, but a video will be out soon for sure. So thanks, guys, for watching. We'll see you on the podcast tonight. Cheers.
Got the mojo deals, we been tripping like the 80s. Pulling out the coupe at the lot.